Welcome to Dialogues for Change. Life is not a void to be filled. It is a plenitude to be discovered. And today I would like to share with you some very beautiful thoughts on discovery by Arthur Koestler in his beautiful book, The Sleepwalkers, a history of man's changing vision of the universe. So the extract that I would like to share with you is actually about changes in knowledge and patterns of discovery. A new evolutionary departure is only possible after a certain amount of de-differentiation, a cracking and thawing of frozen structures resulting from isolated, over-specialized development. Most geniuses responsible for the major mutations in the history of thought seem to have certain features in common. On the one hand, skepticism, often carried to a point of iconoclasm, in their attitude towards traditional ideas, axioms, and dogmas, towards everything that is taken for granted. On the other hand, an open-mindedness that verges on naive credulity towards new concepts which seem to hold out some promise to their instinctive gropings. Out of this combination results that crucial capacity of perceiving a familiar object, situation, problem, or collection of data in a sudden new light or new context. Of seeing a branch not as part of a tree, but as a potential weapon or tool. Of associating the fall of an apple not with its ripeness, but with the motion of the moon. The discoverer perceives relational patterns of functional analogies where nobody saw them before, as the poet perceives the image of a camel in a drifting cloud. This act of wrenching away an object or concept from its habitual associative context and seeing it in a new context is, as I have tried to show, an essential part of the creative process. It is an act both of destruction and of creation. For it demands the breaking up of a mental habit, the melting down with the blow lamp of Cartesian doubt of the frozen structure of accepted theory to enable the new fusion to take place. This perhaps explains the strange combination of skepticism and credulity in the creative genius. Every creative act in science, art, or religion involves a regression to a more primitive level, a new innocence of perception liberated from the cataract of accepted beliefs. It is a process of reculer pour mieux sauter, of disintegration preceding the new synthesis, comparable to the dark night of the soul through which the mystic must pass. Another precondition for basic discoveries to occur and to be accepted is what one might call the ripeness of the age. It is an elusive quality, for the ripeness of a science for decisive change is not determined by the situation in that particular science alone, but by the general climate of the age. The symptom that a particular branch of science or art is ripe for a change is a feeling of frustration and malaise, not necessarily caused by any acute crisis in that specific branch, which might be doing quite well in its traditional terms of reference, but by a feeling that the whole tradition is somehow out of step, cut off from the mainstream, that the traditional criteria have become meaningless, divorced from living reality, isolated from the integral whole. This is the point where the specialist's hubris yields to philosophical soul-searching, to the painful reappraisal of his basic axioms and of the meaning of terms which he had taken for granted. In a word, to the thaw of a dogma. This is a situation which provides genius with the opportunity for his creative plunge under the broken surface. I find these thoughts very, very, very inspiring and very important, and I recommend to you to read this whole beautiful book by Arthur Koestler, The Sleepwalkers, which dwells on these aspects by having a close look at the history of, more specifically, astronomy. I hope you enjoyed these inspirations on Monday, 9th of January 2012, and I hope that they will inspire you as much as they inspired me. Thank you.